Guys, if you've been training for a couple of years, but you are just looking a little bit average, then this video is going to show you why. I'm going to go through 5 points that are going to completely change your body composition, and we're going to cut out all the nonsense here, just the key principles that actually start to make a difference. I was stuck in a similar position a couple of years back. I've been training for quite a while, but just wasn't seeing the results that I was after. And these 5 are exactly what I changed. So the first issue that I see the vast majority of people have is that they're not in a mindset of phase-based thinking. What you need to have is a timeline across 12 months that tells you exactly when you're going to be gaining, exactly when you're going to be dieting and trying to lose body fat, so that you've got a clear focus for every single time that you're in the gym or cooking your food. You need that focus from that timeline. So create that for yourself now. When you're dieting, how long for? How long are you going to be trying to gain muscle for? And that's going to give you the structure to push on from there. The second one, guys, is training. Everyone knows you need to be consistent, so I'm not going to bore you with that stuff. But what you might not be doing is executing the movements properly. I can honestly tell you my chest did not grow when I was training it back in the day. And that was because my training execution for my chest was terrible. So if you've got a lagging body part or something you're just noticing isn't growing, that is why the composition of that muscle is not going to be looking how you want it to. So let's take biceps, for example. This is a bit of a classic one. But if you're picking up the dumbbells and you're taking a lot of momentum through the movement, you're just not going to be growing that much muscle. So whenever you're training, whether it's quads, biceps, or chest, you need control of that movement. You need to be thinking, how does this muscle contract? And then actually putting force through a controlled motion. The other thing that I think most people get wrong when it comes to their training is your intensity is terrible. You need to train so much harder than you are doing right now. And you might convince yourself, which is what I did. I'd convince myself that, yeah, I'm training hard. I promise you, you probably need to push it a little bit more. The third one, guys, is nutritional accuracy. The difference between you getting in shape and being out of shape is probably around 500 to 600 calories. That is literally 60 grams of olive oil that can make the difference between you looking great and looking fat. So when you're getting into this process, at least for the first few weeks, you need to be able to get accurate. And the only way you can do that is start tracking your food. Be really, really accurate with how many grams you're having of each of the foods that you eat. And that's going to actually make sure that when you're trying to get leaner, when you're trying to drop some body fat, you're going to be in a deficit. And when you're trying to grow some muscle, it's going to make sure that you're hitting your protein targets and your calorie targets to actually fuel that growth. So if you're going to focus on one thing, get accurate and consistent with your nutrition. And that's going to make the difference between a successful phase and an unsuccessful phase. The fourth point then is making sure you've got a base of health. Your body will not respond to the nutrition, to the training, or anything I'm talking about in this video if you're not healthy. Whether it's you're overstressed or you're inflamed, or from a nutritional perspective, you're not getting in the vitamins, the minerals, the micronutrition, the fiber, all of those things will make you significantly healthier. So that is the absolute foundation of everything that builds on top of it. So when you're designing your nutritional program, you need to make sure that you're actually ticking all the boxes that you need. Are you getting enough vitamin A from things like peppers? Are you getting enough vitamin D from being outside enough? And maybe you're going to have to take some supplementation to get that up a little bit. So think about your health, make sure it's in a very good spot, and that's going to accelerate the effects that your nutrition and your training has on your physique. All right, the fifth and final point, guys, is sleep and recovery. And I want to give you a little analogy for this. The nutrition that you're doing is like putting some fuel in your car, right? That's going to give you the energy to do all this stuff that we're talking about. But every once in a while, your car needs servicing. And that's the exact same as your body. You need to get the sleep in to allow that nutrition to actually create the new muscle that you're trying to build, to allow your body to actually burn that body fat. You need to make sure you're sleeping well. If you don't, your hormones will tank, your stress levels will go through the roof. And we all know that is a pretty horrendous concoction. So get your sleep right, and that's going to massively accelerate everything else. So make sure you go ahead and apply these 5 tips. And if you found this helpful, this is what I'm posting about on a weekly basis on this YouTube. So be sure to click subscribe. And if you want some daily tips, go head over to my Instagram and follow me on there. And that's going to give you way more regular tips to make sure you're making good progress. See you there.